Peace, power, and prosperity to my beautiful family. This is ordained metaphysical minister Corbin reporting live. I want to welcome you all to the Cosmic Christ University. The Cosmic Christ University is the home of the esoteric and metaphysical knowledge. Now listen, 100 years from now, the Cosmic Christ University is going to be the center of healing for thousands, perhaps millions. In 100 years, the work that we put together in Cosmic Christ University, my students and the masters coming together in the Cosmic Christ University to share spiritual insight, gnosis, which is wisdom and knowledge and knowing of who we are, our connection to the source. In 100 years, this channel is going to be the center to healing. And I thank you for allowing me to bring this outlet to you. Today's gateway to healing is going to be a very special one. So special that I haven't named the title yet. Of course, you know the title before I do at this moment. The power of technology. But for those who are truly looking to heal, welcome. This is the gateway to healing. This is where we don't heal to just heal ourselves. No. We heal to heal ourselves, and then we heal to heal others who around us may need healing. Those who around us who may need inspiration and motivation and may be too ashamed, too quiet, and unsung voices who never get a chance to be heard. This channel, and most definitely this presentation, is for you. And thank you for watching, the minister. I'm going to go right in. This chapter is going to be called Remembering. This is going to be off. Now, this book here, I've done at least about 2 or 3 presentations on. Let me zoom in. For those who want to order this book, Our Spiritual Destiny by Frederick R. Kerr. I'm going to go right in. Like I said, remember this. 100 years from now, the Cosmic Christ University, the work that we as a family, my elite enlightened ones, that you help the minister develop over these years, these decades, is going to help our next generation heal. This presentation is going to be one of the ones. So welcome to the Gateway of Healing, my beautiful people. Let's get started. The author starts off by saying, I believe that all of humanity and nature are involved in some way or level in building new form bodies. If we are all part of this new body building work, then why are we unaware of it? Let me bring that back. If we are all part of this new bodybuilding work, and I'm not talking about muscle, I'm talking about spiritual bodybuilding. Now, if we are all part of this new bodybuilding work, then why are we unaware of it? Some religious scholars suggest that the essence of all sacred material is somehow buried deep within our being. Remember what Christ said, the kingdom of heaven is where? Within you, of course. Now let's read that again one more time. If we are all part of this new bodybuilding work, remember, spiritual, not physical, then why are we unaware of it? Some religious scholars suggest that the essence of all sacred material is somehow buried deep within our being. If this is true, then helping us remember must be the intent and purpose of all divinely inspired sacred books, spiritual literature, and cultural myths in the world. By raise of hand, how many of my book readers are? Hit the like button if you love books, if you love reading books. I don't care what subject and topic of the books is that you like reading. Hit the like button if you remember the movie Fahrenheit 451. Hit the like button if you remember 1984. Hit the like button for real. Leave a comment if you remember the movie Logan's Run. Let's keep on going. Somewhere in our being, that's me and you, because we are all one. Somewhere in our being family, or higher self, we already know the purpose of physical life and matter. To you watching right now, did you hear what the minister just said? No matter what stress, no matter what anxiety, no matter what is going on in your life that is opposing your joy and your happiness and your bliss. Let's read that again. Somewhere in our being, that means somewhere in your being, my family here is watching, or your higher self, you already know the purpose of physical life and matter. As evolution progresses and our consciousness expands through time, we are incrementally working towards remembering this purpose. As the longer we live, family, I know some of you can feel me on this one. And you see why the people back in the day said, keep on living, the longer you live. Because there's a certain wisdom that comes after the trials and tribulations. There is certain gnosis or knowledge that you get from leaving your youth and entering into adulthood. And even in adulthood, there is still so much to learn. Don't think you just hit 21 and now you figured it out. That's not how it works. Don't think you're 40 and 50 and think you got it figured out. Because unless you are in tune with the one, the source that is connected within you, connected with the cosmos that you're connected with, then you haven't even started the work. Let's keep on going. And I'll read that again. As evolution progresses and our consciousness expands through time, we are incrementally working towards remembering this purpose. Let's keep reading. Having descended from an energy state and embodied into dense physical matter, we have forgotten our spiritual identity. Some of you are still playing guess who and who am I with yourself, when if you really go inside and silence the noise, you know exactly who you are. But for those who are now in tune into the metaphysical minister, to the Minister Corbin, to the Cosmic Christ University in real time right now, if you don't know what happened to you in your spiritual essence, we're going to read it again so you understand what happened. And thank you for watching the Cosmic Christ University. Having descended from an inner energy state, for my church people, let's think about the Adam and Eve story, right? Think about that. They ate the fruit, they descended, right? Having descended from a higher level to a lower consciousness, that's where I want to leave you in a loop. Having being in a higher consciousness, Adam and Eve ate the fruit, put the suit on, this is flesh, and through free will, they fell into this lower vibration, aka earth. Let's keep on going. Having descended from an inner energy state and embodied into a dense physical matter, shout out to all my Bobby Hemmett fans out there. Shout out to the Baba Phil Valentine, Brother Panic. We have forgotten our spiritual identity. The author says, I believe this occurred by design. We did nothing wrong, the author says, nor did we fall from grace. Out of necessity, we withdrew the essence of our identity and purpose deep within ourselves in order to become clothed in matter. And once you start growing and knowing who you are, that's what you're going to figure out. You're going to start realizing that you're not condemned down here. Now, it sucks being to a certain degree in this physical matter and have to go through these physical things, but this is a school. Some of us, it's a school. So understand that first. A lot of people work. A lot of people go to school. You don't always like going to work. You don't always like going to school, but it's something you have to do until you can reach higher vibrations where you don't have to do it no more. Simple as that. That's us in the physical vessel or the physical skin at this time right now. Learn everything you can. Once you learn everything you can reach higher levels, but just keep that great connection with God, the source within you. That's all we're saying here. Once again, having descended from an inner energy state and embodied into dense physical matter, talking about the humans now, we have forgotten our spiritual identity, the author says. I believe this occurred by design. We did nothing wrong, nor did we fall from grace. See, out of necessity, we withdrew the essence of our identity. We withdrew the essence of our identity and purpose deep within ourselves in order to become clothed in matter. Similar to a seed planted in soil, this core germinates in our lives when nourished by our involving to our inner spiritual life. As we enter the dense matter of our physical bodies, we lose consciousness connection to our higher self. Let me read that again and hit the like button if you're understanding what I'm saying. I love class participation. You guys know I do. As we entered the dense matter of our physical bodies, we lost consciousness connection to our higher self. Are you with me there? I want you to understand how spiritual you are, because listen, there are two types of spiritual people walking this planet. There are some people who say they are spiritual and they're only spiritual to escape their current day reality, whether it be stress, anxiety, or a certain type of healing that needs to be done, and they don't want to deal it. They don't want to deal with the realities of facing what they need to face to heal. Those people are invalid, but they are still people because they have to eventually, whether it's forcefully, go into the right path of healing where everything is healed. Then you have the second spiritual people, the people who have gone through certain phases of what the former one has gone to, but has consciously and subconsciously chose to heal by any means necessary. And through their graduation of healing, they can now heal others. And I thank the Christ, the divine guardians, the planet Chiron, the 24 elders that have let me be the latter one. And that's why I'm able to heal those around me, so they can heal the ones around them, and so forth and so on. You see how this works? Of course you do. Now, the author says, I want to read this all back so we can now have a one balance what this is going on here. Having descended from an inner energy state and embodied into dense physical matter, we have forgotten our spiritual identity. The author says, I believe this occurred by design. See, we did nothing wrong, nor did we fall from grace. Out of necessity, we withdrew the essence of our identity and purpose deep within ourselves in order to become clothed in matter. Similar to a seed planted in soil, this core germinates in our lives when nourished by our involving self-consciousness and matter. We can then grow to remember and connect to our inner spiritual life. As we enter the dense matter of our physical bodies, we lost connection to our higher self. However, we were willing to do this in order to accomplish our mission of becoming co-creators with you in the kingdom of Christ. To all my Christ beings, it's so good to see all of you. For all you ones back when you were young in your youth who faced so much adversity, whether it was physical, sexual, verbal abuse, you are healing now. And now that you are healing, you can become the healers. I'm just starting this presentation. We're about to touch some core subjects that are going to, for a moment, bring you back to where you were, just so you can heal. This is what this is about. And I love you all. Oh, I want to read this. You know how the book be having some bottom information? I want to read this. The author says, in referring to the Christ, I do not mean Jesus. I mean the Christ energy that expressed physically through Jesus, which is available to all of humanity regardless of religion, spiritual belief, or the lack thereof. You watching, did you understand that? It's what the minister has been saying for quite some years on this channel. But I'll read it again before we go to the next page. Thank you for your patience. In referring to the Christ, I do not mean Jesus or Yeshua. His mother called him Yeshua, guys. I gotta call him Yeshua. I do not mean Jesus. I mean the Christ energy that expressed physically through Yeshua or Jesus, which is available to all of humanity regardless of religion, spiritual belief, or the lack thereof. This forgetfulness presents us with the enormous challenge and opportunity of overcoming our material our material. Let me get that word right, because sometimes I read fast. Orientation. Thank you. This forgetfulness presents us with this enormous challenge and opportunity of overcoming our material orientation and conditioning collectively We have identified ourselves with the form of our physical bodies to the point where for most of us, it has become the fundamental reality of our being. Let's stop there, my beautiful family. I'm going to read it one more time, then I'm going to break down the subject course. This forgetfulness presents us with the enormous challenge and opportunity of overcoming our material orientation and conditioning. See, collectively, we have identified ourselves with the form of our physical bodies to the point where, for most of us, it has become the fundamental reality of our being. Remember, this is the gateway to healing now. So much is being said in that statement. First and foremost, is to let you know and confirm to you that you are more than just humans. Second of all, it confirms to my religious people who are watching what Christ said when he said, "My kingdom is not of this world." You have to understand that you are an incy small part of a physical being, but you are a big whole of a spiritual being. Because you are in this dense body, this physical matter, you are shut off a majority of your spiritual essence. That's why the light that was Christ that came down here in the form of the person you know as Jesus was reminding the people who consciousness fell. But the terminology he used and the way he tried to describe to those people whose consciousness was very low, they couldn't really understand what he was saying. But he knew that 2,000 over 2,100 years later, that there was going to be a group of people on this planet that would understand him. So he returned to return with a message, to not let you know that there was one person that could do everything. No, that all of you could do everything once you put your mind and your Christ energy to it. You get what I'm saying here, family? I know you do. I love you all. Let's continue. Once again, this forgetfulness presents us with the enormous challenge and opportunity of overcoming our material orientation and condition collectively. Collectively, we have identified ourselves with the form of our physical bodies to the point where for most of us, it has become the fundamental reality of our being, and it's not. It's not the fundamental reality of our being. We have lost touch with our inner life and spiritual origins in order to accept the limitations of a life in matter. I'm not really in a rush today. I'm a spiritual counselor. I'm an ordained metaphysical minister. There is people who need healing. There is people out now, and maybe it's you, who have been reaching out to people who haven't got no help because they know that they are spiritual, and physical issues cannot help a spiritual being. Physical issues cannot help a spiritual being. You must go within with Christ. So I'm giving you this presentation, and Christ is giving you this presentation so you can know, A, that anxiety, stress, haterism, whatever you think you're going through, cannot defeat you unless you give the energy to. That you have a connection with Christ, that you are a co-creator with God. And then C, enjoy your life, know your power. Stay connected to Christ God within you. I'm in no rush. If anything, take time to listen to what the minister's saying right now. This is a me and you conversation. And if you're with your family, I thank you for watching. But we are in a time now where we are spiritually behind. Don't worry about UAPs, aliens, all that stuff. I'm doing a video about that real soon, by the way. But everything is within you. Even if it looks as outside of you, everything is within you. Okay? You can heal now. Give yourself that ability to heal. Give yourself that power, that room to heal. You got this. We have lost touch, the author says. We have lost touch with our inner life and spiritual origins in order to accept the limitations of a life in matter. Because of this alignment, our current physical world reality seems quite reasonable. Because of this alignment, our current physical world reality seems quite reasonable to us. As we study, compare, and contrast ourselves with the natural world through our physical senses, we evaluate appearance and the atomic, chemical, or biological characteristics of the matter of all life forms. Let's read that again. As we study, compare, and contrast ourselves with the natural world through our physical senses, we evaluate appearance and the atomic, chemical, or biological characteristics of the matter of all life forms. From this material perspective, we can see our commonality, but also can physically distinguish ourselves separate and apart from nature. However, this scrutiny carries over to other humans as well through our pattern of focus on race, gender, beauty, size, health, or deformity. How many of you are truly ready to get healed? Did you hear what this author just said? Did you hear what this book just said? Hit the like button. I'm in no rush if you're not. I'm definitely not in a rush. Are you? I'll read that again. As we, the author says, study, compare, contrast ourselves with the natural world through our physical senses, we evaluate appearance and the atomic, chemical, or biological characteristics of matter of life, of all life forms. Let's read that again so we are all on one page. As you the people out there, study, compare, and contrast yourselves with the natural world through your physical senses, you evaluate appearance and you also evaluate the atomic, the chemical, and biological characteristics of matter of all life forms. But wait, there's more. From this material perspective, you can see commonality. But you can also, can physically distinguish yourself separate and apart from nature. However, this scrutiny carries over to other humans as well through our pattern of focus on race. To all my people in power, I don't care if you're a Rothschild, a Rockefeller, a DuPont, a Trump, a Musk, whoever you are, a Gates, a Pope, whatever. I am a divine Christ consciousness. Those people who I name know who I am because they knew that this time was going to come. So there's no fear in my speech, and they know that. So let me read that again. And may the respect to your families, by the way. But do understand this power comes from a higher one, even more higher than yours. As we study, compare, and contrast ourselves with the natural world through our physical senses, this is what the author says, but I'm going to relate it to you now. You evaluate appearance and the atomic, chemical, or biological characteristics of matter in all life forms. And from this material perspective, you can see your commonality. But also, you can physically distinguish yourself separate and apart from nature. However, this scrutiny carries over to other humans as well through our pattern of focus on race, gender, beauty, size, health, or deformity. Let's keep on going. Despite our strong material conditioning, most of us in the world profess deep religious faith in a hereafter or belief in a spiritual realm beyond our physical life. Is that true? Now, if you're watching my YouTube channel, I take it you be honest, good folks. So, if this statement relates to you, hit the like button. Let me see that you were active in here. I told you I like class participation. So, if this comment relates to you, then hit the like button. Leave a comment. We are family. Don't be shy to interact with your family. Shout out to my brother, my young brother who's doing his thing, who always leave comments with me. Shout out to you, brother. I'm proud of you for doing your thing and asking all the questions you ask. Keep on asking questions and keep on knowing your true power, my brother. You know who I'm talking to. But for everybody else, don't be shy to ask the minister. Do not be shy. We are family. We should be operating as a family. So let's keep on going. Despite our strong material conditioning, most of us in this world profess deep religious faith in a hereafter or belief in a spiritual realm beyond our physical life, right? Yet at the same time, we also believe our only true claim to immortality is through our children. Wow. How do you feel about that, audience? Under the influence of our conditioning and matter, our rational mind and practical nature had convinced us that the source of all life on this planet is biological. You've been lied to. Now, let me go and read that again. Under the influence of our conditioning, how we were raised, you gotta read between the lines sometimes. Not all the time if you can understand, but sometimes, you gotta read between the lines. But listen, under the influence of our conditioning, aka based on the way you were raised, but under the influence of our conditioning and matter, our rational mind, that everyday objective mind that most people use, and practical nature have convinced us that the source of all life on this planet is biological. The author says, I believe that much of this relates to the vibrational density of nature and the harsh realities of the physical plane life. Through the practicalities of survival. Oh, I want to read that again. The author says, I believe that much of this relates to the vibrational density. Remember, we fell. The Adam and Eve story is about us falling into dense matter. Like the teacher Bobby Hemmett said, we fell and became into dense matter and into this physical world. We were, remember in the Bible, Christ says, before Abraham, I am. We've been here. We've been doing this. Under the influence of our conditioning and matter, our rational mind and practical nature have convinced us that the source of all life on this planet is biological. Author says, I believe that much of this relates to the vibrational density of nature and the harsh realities of the physical plane life. Through the practicalities of survival. It has been very difficult for us to remember ourselves as interconnected, immortal aspects of spirit in your universal consciousness or energy. With our present level of forgetfulness or unconsciousness, we are only utilizing a fraction of the creative intelligence available to us. My Dragon Ball Z fans, my Avatar fans, my Airbender fans, shout out to all my anime fans. Shout out to all my true spiritual family that's doing the work. You always knew you were greater. You always knew. Like a Michael Jordan, like a Michael Jackson, like a LeBron James, like a Serena Venus Williams, like a Rodman, like a Deion Sanders, like Coach Prime, like these legends, that you can push your body to the limit and do greater things. But this is proof that you can. Shout out to all those people that I named and the ones that I didn't name. With our present level of forgetfulness or unconsciousness, we are only utilizing a fraction of the creative intelligence available to us. We seem able to relate to and feel safe only within a well-defined reality and knowledge base that gives us a clear sense of control of our lives in the world. I hear no lies here, do you? 1 on 29 minutes, I hear no lies here, do you? See, healing is all about taking responsibility and also accountability as well. These may feel like hard things to do, but once you go through them, trust me, this is talking from experience now, but once you go through them, I promise you, it's all worth it at the end. With our present level of forgetfulness or unconsciousness, we are only utilizing a fraction of the creative intelligence available to us. We seem able to relate to and feel safe only within a well-defined reality and knowledge base that gives us a clear sense of control of our lives in the world. The idea of a vast, unseen, dimensional reality underlying our material world is frightening to many of us. Such an unknown inner realm is beyond our present ability to detect, let alone to define and control. See, that's that control thing. A lot of people like to have control. They need to have control. If they don't have control, they feel they don't have control. Those type of people are going to have a hard time in the quantum world. Because in this world that we are now approaching now, for my family that's in the 5th, 6th, 7th dimension, everything, as you know, family, is mind-based. So what is you feeding your mind throughout the day? The idea of vast, unseen dimensional reality underlining our material world is frightening to many of you. Such an unknown inner realm is beyond our present ability to detect, let alone to define and control. Therefore, in many ways, we want to believe that it does not exist, the author says. If it is there at all, we want to believe it as a wonderful place called heaven or a terrible place called hell. We envision these places in our consciousness as somehow separate and detached from our real lives, which we are only able to enter after death as a reward or punishment for how we had lived our lives. Now, that describes church people and Christians, Orthodox Christians, very well. So much that I'm going to, at 30 minutes, read that again, going on 31. I'm going to read that very clearly so we can be on one accord, by the way. The idea of a vast, unseen dimensional reality underlining our material world is frightening to many of you. Such an unknown inner realm is beyond our present ability to detect, let alone to define and control. Therefore, in many ways, we want to believe that it does not exist. If it is there at all, we want to believe, or you would want to believe, some of you, it is a wonderful place called heaven or a terrible place called hell. You envision these places in your consciousness as somehow separate and detached from your real lives, which you are only able to enter after death as a reward or punishment for how you have lived your lives. This is how some of you think, but that's the wrong way of thinking. In comparing yourselves with the other kingdoms, it is easy to see that your ability to think consciously is one of many gifts you humans possess. If we think and feel that something is true, the author says, if you think and feel that something is true, then it is a part of your belief system. All right? That's how you were taught. Let me read that again. If you think and feel that something is true, then it is part of your belief system and becomes incorporated into your reality. Let me read that again. If you think and feel that something is true, then it is a part of your belief system and it becomes incorporated in your reality. This actuality is the basis of your present state of existence and your restrictions in consciousness, but also the key to your unique and valuable role in your creative work. From an outer or material viewpoint, it is also your greatest protection. How are y'all doing out there in 32 minutes? The minister was looking to see if he has a bottle of water, but I am well quenched by the Spirit and the word of the Spirit that is now being deliberate, deliberately delivered to my beautiful family watching. I love my play on words. In comparing ourselves with the other kingdoms, once again, it is easy, the author says, to see that your ability to think consciously is one of the many gifts. And I want to make sure that I'm reading right, that I'm staying on point. Yes, I am. In comparing yourselves with other kingdoms, it is easy to see that your ability to think consciously is one of the many gifts you humans possess. If you think and feel that something is true, then it is part of your belief system and becomes incorporated in your reality. This actuality is the basis of your present state of existence and your restriction in consciousness, but also the key to your unique and valuable role in your creative work. From an outer or material viewpoint, it is also your greatest protection. The magnetic power of thought enables us to attract like-minded people. The magnetic power of thought enables us to attract like-minded people to our belief system. Now, since I'm talking to you, I want to change the words around. The magnetic power of thoughts enable you to attract like-minded people to your belief system or perspective of life. This union can act as an insulation and protect from the harsh realities of the world around us. How many of you got cliques? How many for you who work? You got the work buddies and the cliques. Y'all know y'all do. Your homeboys, your homegirl, your family at work. Come on. We all been there, right? But listen up. The magnetic power of thought enables you to attract like-minded people to your belief systems or perspectives of life. This union can act as an insulation and protection from the harsh realities of the world around us. If enough people align themselves with you consciously or unconsciously, then you have formed a group entity. Think about this. Family. For those who are the black sheeps, think about your family. And for people who have a nice family union, nice healthy family union, think about that as well. I'm going to read that again. The magnetic power of thought enables you to attract like-minded people to your belief system or perspective of life, of the world. This union can act as an insulation and protection from the harsh realities of the world around you. If enough people align themselves with you consciously or unconsciously, then you have formed a group entity. Entities can exist with or without tangible components or connections. Arising out of our or your passionately held mutual beliefs, these entities express outwardly through physical group activities. They express inwardly on inner realms through the energy impact that our united agreement has on collective human consciousness. Now, when I read some things, family, I like to make sure that everybody watching, I don't care, no matter your level of gnosis or understanding or knowledge, I want to make sure that I can read it so everybody in the room or in the building or in space or in the cosmos or in your living room or in your car can understand as well. I want to think about whether you are the black sheep, whether you come from a healthy family, that you were raised healthily, you were raised with people who love you in a non-abusive family, and then those who weren't. I'm going to read that again so you can, as a collective now, because we are a unified collective, conscious collective here at the Cosmic Christ University. I want you to think about everything that you have went through in your life, whether you're the black sheep or you're not. But listen to what I'm about to say and think about how it relates to how people act in the world, whether as the black sheep group or the ones who came from a healthy family, or for the ones who didn't come from a healthy family and are still black sheep. All this, I want you to add. Come on, let's go. The magnetic power of thought enables you to attract like-minded people to your belief system or your perspective of life. This union can act as an insulation and protection from the harsh realities of the world around you. If enough people align themselves with you consciously or unconsciously, then you have formed a group entity. Now, entities can exist with or without tangible components or connections. Arising out of your passionately held mutual beliefs, these entities express outwardly through physical group activities. They express inwardly on inner realms through the energy impact that our united agreement has on collective human consciousness. Now, TikTok that, my TikTokers. Through the invisible power of human thought and emotion, through the invisible power of human thought and emotion, the underlying energy force in all matter is able to concretize, and I'm going to make sure, concretize, concretize our self-created forms, ideas, and feelings, and the energy we give them into our bodies and the world around us. And let me read that again. Through the invisible power of human thought and emotion, the underlying energy force in all matter is able to concretize our self-created forms, which is ideas and feelings, and the energy we give them into our bodies and in the world as physical reality. To me, it sounds like another word for crystallizing, but let's keep on going. There it is right there. There it is. I promise you. Listen, it's been a while since I read through all this, so So yeah, the concretizing or crystallizing. So I was right on point. Sorry, I'll let it celebrate me when I get it. The crystallizing force in matter is the crex. That word, and it says the crystallizing force in matter is how spiritual energy manifests itself in matter. Did you guys hear that? This crystallizing force in matter is how spiritual energy manifests itself in matter. So let me go back and read that again. Through the invisible power of human thought, what are you thinking on an everyday basis? Is it negative or is it positive? If it's negative, get it out the way. But through the invisible power of human thought and emotion, remember, if for those who watched my last presentation, remember about desire and feeling and not commanding the subconscious? So let's keep going on again. Through the invisible power of human thought and emotion, the underlying energy force in all matter is able to crystallize our self-created forms or ideas and feelings, and the energy we give them into our bodies and the world as physical reality. Now you see why I say in 100 years, maybe less, that this channel, that this college, this university, the Cosmic Christ University is going to be the epic center, the core, the nucleus for healing around the world. This crystallizing force in matter is how spiritual energy manifests itself in matter, whether we know it or not. Through our strong thoughts and feelings, we participate in this creative process by unconsciously utilizing this energy force to cope with our physical plane life as we perceive it, out of our fear that the unknown might just be worse than where we are presently or what we know for certain. We are stuck living out our self-created reality through its various manifestations in our life. Damn. You know what, family? This might be a part two. But listen. Oh yeah, this is going to have to be a part two. Hit the like button if you like what you hear so far. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tune in to the Cosmic Christ University. I'm going to give you a little bit more. I think I'm going to stop at 50. Maybe 55. I think I'm going to stop at 50. I'm going to stop here. Because part two, listen, for those who watch The Minister, my part twos be epic. My part twos is epic. My recaps are epics. My part twos are epic. So this is why I'm going to stop here, because part two though. So let's finish up with part one first. And I thank you, my beautiful family. So before we wrap this up, once again, I gave you A, B, and C. But I just want to wrap this up saying that you are powerful. It's time for you to leave the third dimension. Some of you are still stuck in the 3D world, while everybody else is going to the 5th, 6th, 7th, and beyond. I am giving you this tool. The Cosmic Christ University is yours to have. You come in here, you get all the information you need. Listen, I got concerts. When I went to the Essence Festival this year for the first Hot Boys reunion, shout out to Turk, he wasn't there. I've seen the Marley brothers. I seen Damien, and I seen their brother Stephen Marley. Respect to the Marley family. I got a chance to go to DMX's memorial service. All of these on this channel. So it's learning, and it's also entertainment as well. I have been to, the Edgar Casey Arts and Research Enlightenment Center is my second home. That's my spiritual grid. That's my home base in Virginia Beach. I have videos of me there as well. So there's enough videos to keep you busy on this channel, but this is going to be the epic center in 100 years. So let's end part one. Oh, and I also have videos when I went to Egypt and I went to the museums in 2019. I went to Cairo, Egypt. This is where a lot of this jump started for me, right before 2020, and we know what happened around that time. So I want to end here, part one. Thank you so much, my beautiful family all across the globe, for tuning in. This is healing. This is a gateway to healing. The magnetic power. Remember, the ministers always tell you about the mind. I'm a metaphysician, guys, so we teach you about the power of your mind. As a metaphysician, soon to be a doctor in this thing, and I'm so honored. It's not about trying to change the world. What's that one saying? What's that one song? Who sung that song? It wasn't John Mayers, was it? It wasn't him. Who sung? Somebody in the comment section, let me know who sang that song. Waiting on the world to change. Keep on waiting on the world to change. Whoever sung that song, let me know who sang that song. But it's not about trying to change the world. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not about trying to change the world. You can't change the world, but you can change your mind. You can change how you view the world. And once you do that, then your outlook, remember, everything is an inner world. Once you change the way how you look at the world, then by law and principle, the world changes. It's that simple. Let me say it again before I give you the rest of this. It's not about changing the world. It's about changing your mind on how you look at the world. Because at the end, even when you leave this physical world, you take your mind or your consciousness with you. So what are you thinking on the daily? And I advise you to keep your mind on Christ, not the one they taught you in church, but the higher gnosis, the Christ that lives within you. The magnetic power of thought enables you to attract like-minded people. In metaphysics, we say like attracts like. Once again, the magnetic power of thought enables you to attract like-minded people to your belief system or perspective of life. This union can act as an insulation and protection from the harsh realities of the world around you. If enough people align themselves if enough people align themselves to you consciously or unconsciously, then you have formed a group entity. And for you who got your clicks, you know what I'm talking about. Entities can exist with or without tangible components or connections arising out of your passionately held mutual beliefs. These entities express outwardly through physical group activities. They express inwardly on inner realms through the energy impact that your united agreement has on collective human consciousness. Think about politics. Think about gangs. Think about that. Through the invisible power of human thought, listen once again closely, through the invisible power of human thought and emotion, the underlying energy force in all matter is able to crystallize your self-created forms or ideas and feelings and the energy you give them into your bodies and in the world as physical reality. This crystallizing force in matter is how spiritual energy manifests itself in matter, whether you know it or not. Through your strong thoughts and feelings, you participate in this creative process by unconsciously utilizing this energy force to cope with your physical plane life. As we perceive it, or as in this case, you perceive it. Out of the fear that the unknown might just be worse than where you are presently, or what you know for certain, you are now stuck living out your self-created reality through its various manifestations in your life. And that's one you're going to have to sleep with. The consolidating energy and matter that is contained within your belief ends up creating the barriers and restrictions that you must face in your consciousness and in your lives. Take time with that one. Take your time with that one. This ain't judging. We don't judge here. We allow you to come in here, heal on your own time. Minister, please read that again. The consolidating energy and matter that is contained within your beliefs, what you believe in, ends up creating the barriers and restrictions that you must face in your consciousness and in your lives. It blocks you from embracing and creating new thoughts and ideas until you are able to break free of the old ones. For you to get to where we are, or in this case, for you to get to where you are willing to release your restricted beliefs and ways of being usually take something drastic in your personal lives or a catalytic event in the world. Minister, the consolidating energy now. Listen up. Listen up. The consolidating energy and matter that is contained within your belief systems end up creating the barriers and restrictions that you must face in your consciousness and in your lives. It blocks you from embracing and creating new thoughts and ideas until you are able to break free of the old ones. For you to get to where you are willing to release your restricted beliefs and ways of being usually take something drastic in your personal lives or a catalytic event in the world. Unexpected and often life-shattering. These events help to create the conditions where you have no choice other than to experience something new. For a complete perspective, you must also look at the positive benefits of your limitations. Look at the bright side, is what it's saying. And this crystallizing process in matter. Developmental restrictions in human archetypes and consciousness also provides an underlying social and moral structure to guide your lives and growth until you are able to move beyond them. However, the price you pay in matter for the structure and sense of security is estrangement from your inner life identity. Woo! I want to read that one again. For a complete perspective, you must also look at the positive benefits of your limitations and this crystallizing process in matter. Developmental restrictions in human archetypes and consciousness also provide an underlying social and moral structure to guide your lives and growth until you are able to move beyond move beyond them. However, the price you may pay and matter for this structure and sense of security is estrangement from the author says but your inner life identity. And these limitations in consciousness become crystallized, family. Your body's nervous systems and brains gradually evolve to perceive only a very narrow band of so-called reality. This blocks you from seeing and acknowledging the unlimited possibilities and potential of your connection to your vast universal connection and the inner energy life in and around you. And I'm going to stop there. Part 2 about to be real. Till next time, family. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We are now here for healing. This is the gateway of healing. Know your power. Know your strength. Let no one stand in your way. Absolutely no one. Not even your fleshly self. Peace.